Hi everyone, my name is Tim B. Welcome to Tim B's Tech Talk. Today, I want to talk about Apple's primary business model, which is the subscription model. But Apple's not unique. The whole tech world is using this model because they can make a boatload of money with it. The question is, how will this impact you? I mean, think of it this way. Think of the difference between space and time. Now, in space, you have a product, and then you have a price. A price with a product makes sense, right? You wouldn't have a product and then 5, 10, 15 different prices for one product. No, you have to redefine the terms. So if you go from space to time, now all of a sudden you can stretch out those prices across time. So now you're paying a price for a minute, a day, a week, a month, a year. And then they can keep replicating those prices over and over and over again. So all of a sudden that one price that you were paying in space for one product is now numerous times in time. It's something to really think about because the way this is going to impact how we spend our money moving forward is going to be, outrageous. Let me break it down for you. So as you know, Apple offers all kinds of services. They started out with iCloud, now they have, then they came out with Apple Music, and now there's Apple TV, Apple Arcade, a ton of services that are available. Let's take a look at one of Apple's quarterly earnings. Here's a breakdown of what they earn in the millions per quarter. And of course, the iPhone is at the top. The Mac comes in third, the iPad comes in fourth, but what comes in second? Services. And subscription fees fall under services. Well, you can best believe that in 2 years or 3 years, services will be surpassing the iPhone. This is going to be the primary way in which they make their money. And when you think about everything that they're charging through subscriptions, it makes total sense. So very quickly, they have Apple Music, iCloud Drive, Apple News Plus, relatively recent, and during this month, as a matter of fact, they introduced the price for Apple Arcade, which is $4.99 a month, and they also introduced the price for Apple TV Plus, which is also $4.99 a month. Now, when Tim Cook presented this, he was really very proud of this. I mean, he felt like, man, $4.99, what a price point. I mean, this could save you so much money, you get such great content. Okay, on the surface, that makes sense. But Apple's also offering tons of other channels through the Apple TV, all of which has the same market rate, minus the premium channels. So for example, you can access CBS and HBO and Showtime, Starz, Cinemax, all at anywhere between $10.99 and $12.99 a month. And then there's Epix, that's $5.99 a month. Now, everything else that you access are all within the same price range that Apple's charging, which is $4.99 a month. I mean, you get Smithsonian, $4.99 a month, and a tons of other channels. PBS Living, a little less, $2.99 a month. Acorn TV, Sundance Now, Lifetime Movie Club, UMC, Tastemade, Curiosity Stream, MTV Hits, Comedy Central Now, Shudder, History Vault, Mubi, and Arrow Video Channel, all falling within that same realm of price, the same price range that Apple's charging. So is Apple really charging a deal, especially when you are spending money on all these other services potentially, right? So let's just say, for example, you buy into Apple TV Plus, and then you got all these other channels that are before you, and you wind up, out of all those channels, you think that, hey, it may be worthwhile paying for 8 additional channels. You could conceivably be paying an additional $65.92 for those channels on top of all the other fees that you're paying for. Combined, you could be paying $110 a month in subscription fees just for those services. And the one thing that really gets me, it really has me concerned because I use a lot of apps, and I have been for years. That's why I even set up this channel, because I liked how apps were making us more productive, more creative, and that there were so many options to choose from. So it just sort of unleashed a lot of creativity. At least that's how I perceived it. But now it doesn't seem that way anymore because there are a lot of obstacles with these subscription fees that are now being charged through the App Store. Almost every genre in the App Store, matter of fact, every genre, is now using the subscription fee model as the way in which developers are charging their customers. So you're not just paying an app outright for $3.99, you're now paying $3.99 a week, $3.99 a month. Or a higher price per year. Let me just break it down for you so it makes sense. So here is an example of how developers, following Apple's lead, can make 3 times, 5 times, 10 times the amount of money using the subscription model. I've actually identified 6 apps that went from the paid model to the subscription model. And as you can see, just from this visual, the price is either 3 times, 4 times, 8 times, sometimes even 10 times the price of the original paid model offering. Now to be more specific, so here is an app called Morph. It used to be called Motato. I originally purchased this app for $4.99. I noticed in the App Store that they're now charging $2.99 a week and $35.99 a year. I'm like, what? Now it's not impacting me, thank goodness, but compare the prices, okay? If you compare the $4.99 to the $2.99 a month and the $35.99 a year, I mean, you're literally paying 7 times the price. And if you were to do that for 3 years, because guess what? With subscriptions, you have to renew every year. You could be paying 21 times the price of the original price. Insane. This is just for one app. This is happening across the industry, across the App Store, in every genre. Think how much more money you're going to be paying on top of all the larger subscription fees that you're paying through Apple. Insane. So what I did was I put together my own app wish list, if you will. I'm not going to pay these prices, but you know, if I had the money, if I was in the 3 figures and not earning the same salary every year, yeah, maybe I might consider this, but I can't afford it. But if I could, this would be my wish list for all the apps I would like to pay for using the subscription fee model. Now, if I was to pay for all of those apps using the subscription fee model, plus all of those services that I just covered through the Apple TV, I could be paying as much as $412 a month. That's insane. Just to use my iOS devices? I mean, this is crazy. I can never afford to pay that kind of money. So maybe Apple is marketing toward very wealthy people, but I know that I cannot afford to pay $412 a month for these types of services. So if you revisit Apple's quarterly earnings, you can see that if Apple is successful, and I have a feeling that they will be, that service fees will be their highest profit margin. I mean, they will be making more money from subscription fees than even from the iPhone. So a lot of these financial analysts, they're like constantly trying to predict Apple's doom because they just can't seem to sell enough iPhones and iPads. Well, who cares when their most successful business model right now is going to be subscription fees? That's what's going to sustain the company and bring in the wealth that they're expecting, right? So that's what financial analysts are actually missing. It's the subscription fee model that they're now implementing at full force. Now, I found this one article that lists Apple as having a worldwide 588 million. If you were to split that number in half, and they paid the same numbers that I just outlined, their wealth per quarter would be astronomical. And this is all through their ability to implement subscription fees. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie In Time. In Time is a movie about people who can only stay alive if they're able to pay for time. You know, so if you may only have enough money to get you through 24 hours. So you got to go to work and you got to earn extra money so you can pay for that extra time so you can stay alive and breathe. They had a whole other part of town where people with a lot of time and a lot of money didn't even have to worry about even getting old because they had so much money they didn't have to worry about running out of time. Well, the subscription model is kind of like that. You know, it's sort of like taking the paid model, which you pay once, and then forcing you to make numerous payments time after time after time. I mean, it could bankroll you, and figuratively speaking, you could run out of time and be broke. Something to think about. Only thing I want to recommend to you as Apple moves forward, because they have a lot of exciting things that they're offering, including brand new products like the iPhone Pro, give some thought to how you spend your time. My name is Tim B. Thanks for tuning in to Tim B's Tech Talk. Check me out next time.